Hello, everybody. Welcome to Devil's Lake Food. Food for thought and food for your tummy. Road trip. You riding shotgun? I hope so. Let's go. Weather's good. Sun is shining. What more do you need? Oh, yeah, I know. A gas station breakfast sandwich. You know what really makes this gas station breakfast sandwich priceless? At $3.99, it is a sausage, egg, and cheese croissant. $3.99. What makes it priceless is it's Thanksgiving Day and nothing's open. So you need gas, you need food. I got a coffee here. Looks like we're good to go. So we'll talk a little story and eat a sandwich for now. I hope you got something. The only thing I'm sharing is the experience. Don't go trying to eat my sandwich. I'll bite your fingers. So, can you unravel a sandwich? This one is really easy. It's standard paper. There's a video on my channel about Flavortown, and that's available at another gas station. Our good pal Guy, who in the whole video I pronounced his name wrong. Duh. I don't know about myself sometimes. I know better, but I don't at the same time. Maybe that's it. I don't know. But I'm sure he doesn't mind since he made $1 billion. He doesn't care if some clown like me says his name wrong. Anyway, the wrappers on his sandwiches, which are available at the other store, Circle K, we'll call that. This is from the Cenex in Devil's Lake. Anyway, his sandwiches, they're wrapped with this custom wrapping, and man, you can't get it off if you're driving. You might as well just pull over and open it up. So it's about 10:22 a.m. and this sandwich has that in between kind of breakfast, lunch consistency that you knew to expect. I can deal with it. You know, food nowadays to me just seems spicier than it used to be. I always say in my videos, that's weird that I complain of such because I like spicy food. I mean, I eat hot peppers just as a snack. But I don't know, everything just seems spicier than normal. This sausage, woo! I'm just passing the first rest area on the trip. Probably an hour from where I live. I got like 60 minutes into the trip already. I'm not stopping to use the facilities because I already did at the gas station. It's not like I can make it over an hour. It's that I already went. Time to slow down a little bit. Get past all the cars. You guys have the side view today, so not too many cars, but it's nice and sunny. I'm going to kind of find my spot, crank on the old cruise control. Yeah, talk a little story on this one. You don't really got to look out the window. So the first thing I ate all day is this. I did not eat at home before I left. I was running around doing stuff, feeding chickens and ducks and stuff like that. Passing Prairie, North Dakota now. Small town, maybe 20 people. Hey, all my friends from Minnesota. I hear you got hit with some snow. We have not. Coated the grass once, but that's about it. But nothing this year. It's already Thanksgiving. So watch the videos, keep updated. I know you can't get here now and fish for white bass, but you probably still could. Last night for dinner, we had this lamb curry. It was made, I think, West African style. I'm not sure, it might be North African style. Anyway, here's the story. So there's this meat market when we travel and get out of, our little town and Devil's Lake. There's this meat market. You just see like taxi cabs and stuff outside of it. Not a single white person in sight. And they have that meat that I don't really know the whole story of it, but it's supposed to be, I don't know, treated better, processed differently, with more love. I guess that's a dumb thing when you're killing something. But anyway, I don't really know how to pronounce the word. Maybe it's halava or something like that. Maybe somebody knows what I'm talking about. Anyway, it's that kind of meats. And I've been passing this store for years and years. I'm not going in there. I only got a debit card. I'm not going to use it in there. What are you, crazy? And when I'm with everybody in the car, they're like, no, don't go in there. Ah! So I'm passing by. I'm with nobody who knows what's going on. And I say, hey, let's go in there. Now I know I got 3 20s in my pocket. So I got cash. Yeah. So I'm going to brave it. And I go walking in the door. To my surprise, there's a little restaurant there. The same kind of stuff, though. So I don't know if I want to go there. When I was in Utah once and working, I was with the sushi truck driver, and we were doing like this promotional tour, and they had me and my bamboo bike in the back, and I was going around to these stores and standing there and going like, aloha, welcome to Island Sushi, weird stuff like that. This guy said, hey, I like trying strange food. And I said, yeah, I kind of like it too. Find out if I like it. He goes, there's an African place. I'm going to say Africa. Yeah, something like that. And I said, okay, let's go there. And we go in there, and we have no idea what we get. We just like look at the menu. I think something said, I don't know, chicken something. And we were like, yeah, let's get that. And we're both sitting there, and we're eating this stuff. And underneath it, to this day, I don't know if it was like a sponge or some kind of funky bread, starchy kind of thing. I have no idea. But after we chewed a whole bunch of it, and it was hard, and he ate a whole bunch of this sponge kind of thing, the guy ran over and he was like, no, like we were doing it wrong, and we didn't understand. Either he was saying, hey, that's not food, or he was saying, no, you gotta eat it a different way, like maybe you take a little piece of it, like some kind of food, and you grab it, you rip a piece of the bread off, and then you grab the food with it. I don't know. To this day, I never looked it up, but seemed like a sponge to me. But we had a really good time, and we really liked everything, and we liked the experience. And I think, hey, if you have the opportunity, You should go for it. Give it a try. Life's too short to just, be doing the same stuff all the time. Even though they say we're all creatures of habit. I don't know about me. I'm not. I had this dream once. I was in Carson City, Nevada, by Carson City. And I know why I had this dream, because my wife, she takes me around there once. She knew the whole area. And she's like, hey, check this out. It's a house of prostitution. And we sat outside and we're looking around and I said, wow, that's weird. I never knew it was like this. And she said, yeah. And check out right across the street. It's the House of Prostitution's restaurant. And I was like, what? That's weird. As I thought about it, it's not really too weird, because there were like go-go bars, we would call them. They weren't exactly naked people. I guess they had bathing suits on. Anyway, people would go, why do you go in there? And I would say, and it was the truth, they have great food, great lunch specials, and they got this great guy who takes care of the whole kitchen, which was true. I tried to hire him all the time. I wanted to hire him, and I said, why are you working in this place, man? I got this great job for you, and you get benefits and everything. And he just laughed at me. Benefits? I work at a strip club. What do you give me? Blue Cross Blue Shield. It was kind of like that. But anyway, so I know where this dream is coming from. But anyway, the dream is, and it has to do with me not being a creature of habit, if we lost sense of why I'm talking about this. Hey, if you got something to do, people, you should do it. Because, we're just hanging out here wasting some time. I appreciate you staying, though. Anyway, the story is, in the dream, I walk in with a friend of mine, and he says, I'm looking for someone who looks just like my ex-girlfriend, who I spent 10 years with. And I said, wow. I'm looking for a chick who, I don't know, is like from Japan. She has big breasts. She has 5 of them and 3 legs. I don't know. I want something different. Maybe that's why I went into the African restaurant. I don't know. Something different. But boy, oh boy, are we still talking about what I had for dinner last night? The lamb curry. Anyway, I walk into this restaurant that's out of town. Meat market. And I go in, these people, I'm the only one in there, they're all staring at me like, what is this guy going to close this down or something? Is he from the health department? I don't know. And then I look around, there's like no meat. And then I look in another room, and there's freezers, like chest freezers. Now, some of the best Oriental markets are famous for these things. You just open them up and you look around. Maybe there's a sign, maybe there's not. Maybe it's in another language. You don't know what's going on. You better know what you're doing, or you better brought somebody. That's the deal, So I go in the back like I'm a professional. No. I start opening up these things. One says camel. It was empty. They didn't have any camel that day. And one said chicken, and one said goat, and one said lamb. So I was famous for having a lamb slaughtered once a year. This dude I know, he's a farmer, and I'd get one, and he'd bring it over to the meat butcher or whatever you want to call him, and he'd process it. I didn't do that last year because I still had some left over that I didn't even eat from the year before. But that shit's all gone, and I grabbed this lamb. Now it's all chopped up, and it has like a piece of bone on every piece. It's kind of like stewy. I go, oh, okay, I'll try that authentic curry kind of recipe I've been wanting to do. So I grabbed one of them, and I actually grabbed one of the chicken that was cut up into little cubes, and it was raw. Anyway, I go up to the counter, and he's looking at me like I'm nuts, and he tells me like, blah, 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 blah. I don't know how much that is, you know. I give him my money, he gives me back some money, and it was kind of expensive. It wasn't the cheapest thing in the world. And right when I leave, some guy walks in, hey, you got any camel? And he goes, no, we know not the camel, or something like that. Okay. And the guy leaves. So camel's popular there. There is also, I'll do a shout out about a restaurant owned by a chef and his wife. Great restaurant. My favorite one in Grand Forks. If we really want to be serious for a minute. It's called the Ivy, and IVY. And it's called somebody Ivy. I just forget the first name. Anyway, you could probably punch in Ivy if you were interested. And they have a menu of all this great stuff. Corned beef hash they make in-house, and everything. Pasta I had there. Pasta was made in-house. They actually go get vegetables like at the store and, you know, chop them up when you get vegetables on the side of your plate. You know, it's real food cooked real. Not too many Cisco trucks and U.S. Foods pulling up here. Anyway, they have a camel burger on that menu, and I had it once and I kind of liked it, so, you know, don't laugh too much. Maybe I could get some camel here once and try it myself, cooking it. Anyway, so this stuff I made, this lamb curry, I had it last night. Not too many people in the house want to eat it. I dig it. It turned out great. Took me about 4 hours to make. I did it the right way, and I enjoyed it. I tried it a bunch of ways. I tried it with a little bit of rice that I poured this stuff over because it kind of has like a gravy kind of thing. And once I tried it over potatoes, and once I tried it over plantains. So, yeah, it was fun. I still got a couple little bags left that I have in the freezer. I made it with like $28 worth of this lamb. I just used the whole bag and cooked it up. I did not make a video of it, and I probably should have, but you know, cooking videos just don't go too good on this channel. I think people, they're just not into that kind of stuff, you know? Like, you could just do like a 20-second one, and people are happy. They don't want to see that kind of, you know, cooking, like you really cook it. Maybe that's why television cooking kind of thing on like morning shows or so good, because they do it in like 20 seconds. Everybody's square. Here, I made this, and then it looks like this, and look in the oven, it's already made. Look, here it goes. Ta-da! And they go, oh, look for my recipe somewhere else. And then nobody ever looks for the recipe. Maybe that's the deal. So, just a couple days ago, I shot this really quick video of this hot pot restaurant that's opening up like 150 miles from my house. Am I going to go to it? Yes. Now, the only other hot pot restaurant is like 250 miles from my house, 300 miles from my house. I never been there. In fact, I never been to any hot pot restaurant. I have no idea what goes on there. I seen this hot pot that's heated up. You pick a broth. I watched the video on it, and then you cook the food yourself. Because you throw it in this broth. I have no idea. Before I watched this video, I thought it was like a soup people were making. And then they drink the broth that they put this stuff in. I'm thinking now, and I could be wrong, I'm thinking you don't drink the broth. It's about the meats. I don't know, but and once again, not the cheapest place to eat. None of them are. When I was in Hawaii, I seen one. It was for like a first class kind of thing. But, and I think in Vegas I've seen them. But, they were kind of pricey and I didn't know what I'm doing. So I'm hoping when this place opens, they were just unpacking all the equipment. There's a really quick video on it. You can check it out. Really quick. Just subscribe if you go to that short, because otherwise, I don't get anything out of it unless you subscribe. Anyway, because it's really quick. I only had 50 views since yesterday, I think. Who knows how many it has now? Probably much more, because it's really a quick thing. Just shows the front of the building. But they're unpacking all the equipment, and I think at one point I'm going to drive there and check it out. And I'll probably have to go myself, because let me tell you, it's hard to find somebody into that stuff. There's a lot of people, but not at my house. So right now we are passing Michigan. Michigan, or should I say we're just reaching Michigan. Maybe that's better. Anyway, I really liked the lamb, and I'd probably go in again if I had some cash. It's just rare that I have some cash. I don't want to use credit cards or anything in this store. And I'm probably just being silly. I know I'm being silly. I'm just not like that. That's why I'm shopping in the place, but maybe I'm like that a little bit. I don't know. I can only be me. I don't really worry about what's correct or not correct. Just got to be my honest self and honest with you guys. Also, what's funny is, to me anyway, like I go to Jersey, I get a hoagie a couple days ago. I have that video up there also. And I have all these plans, all this stuff I'm going to say, and what I'm doing here, and all this kinds of stuff. And didn't eat breakfast. And it's past lunchtime. And I get this sandwich. And I'm talking all Jersey. It's funny. Like, I'm like, yeah, put more juice on it. You know, like stuff like that, you know. Anyway, the sandwich was great. And I'm sitting there eating, and I get the camera running. I didn't say a word. I was just eating this sandwich. And it went on for so long. While me eating a whole hoagie, I might have said like a couple little words. But I didn't know. I was completely quiet. I was just eating and eating. I was so hungry and enjoying it so much. And I got like a beverage. They had Pepsi there. I normally don't get that. I had that. And man, I was just sitting there like, and I finally thought to myself, oh, great video. I watched it. Great video. I'm not even saying anything. I'm like a monster eating. Like, what are you going to do, huh? So, I have 2 more trips. I don't want to take them before the first of the year, but it could happen. 50-50 shot of leaving town. So I'll be shooting some different stuff. Still, if all the cards fall in place, it will happen. But I don't want it to happen. I'm kind of feeling lazy, and I just want everything to work out and have a great winter where I can drive around like this. That would be awesome. The sun is shining on my face. You can see that. A lot of times I shoot without light. Looks crappy, but it's the real way things look here. When you live in North Dakota. This coffee is lasting longer than I thought it would. I haven't been into coffee too much. That's another thing that's happening to me. I always had hundreds and hundreds of pounds of coffee. Green beans laying around. Well, yeah, there's another video. Nobody really likes that video. But anyway, yeah, it shows me roasting the green beans, and then I grind them up, and then I put them in the coffee pot. You know, that's like, yay! And then I finally ran out. And I kept on looking because people were telling me coffee's going to go sky high. It's going sky high. And I was like, wow. I should buy some. And I look, and yeah, my green beans are, yeah, pretty high. But then I go in the store, and I mean a discount store. I start looking at coffee, and crap coffee. And by crap coffee, it's probably good coffee. Uh, anyway, I start looking. The bags of coffee are only 10 ounces now. And they're like crazy priced, like $15 or something. So I'm like, whoa. I mean, do I want to spend $1,000 and get some green beans again? Not really. Can I? I don't know, on credit or something. But I think even though I've been looking and found the kind that I like, which is the pea berry. I like that kind of bean where the beans join together instead of split. That's like 5% of the coffee in the world, so I feel like I'm getting something rarer. And then there's a certain kind of red or yellow ketchup or one or the other type of bean that I like. I've seen it all, found it, it's available. But like I say, I don't know, what am I spending $14 and getting ripped, or spending $1,000? I don't know. I like the way it smells in my house when I'm roasting it. And yes, I do have the time now. Since it's winter and I'll probably be snowed in soon. So I hope everything's well with everybody out there. And if it's not well, I hope it changes soon for you. You know what they say in the song, good times, bad times. I know I'm going to look for something to eat. Soon, maybe not right now, but soon. And I don't really know what that would be. There is a rumor that there's a place not really close. Oh, and once again, it's probably closed because it's Thanksgiving. I don't know what I'm thinking. Maybe I have to eat Chinese food. And I don't even know if I can do that anymore. Chinese food used to be the spot that was open during the holidays when I was younger. When buffets weren't really that big. In fact, there was like no buffets in the world. And there was one, it was in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. I don't even know if it was Lancaster. Let me just say, in fact, I know it wasn't. But around there, Intercourse, Pennsylvania. Yep, there's a town called Intercourse. Right by Bird in Hand. Yes, that's for real. Anyway, they had a buffet. And that was the only one I ever heard of. And we would go there sometimes for Easter. And that was a big deal. And as I got older, I kind of always remember that. And all these Chinese buffets started coming around in the world. And I kind of started going to them. Now, I have family who do not like buffets. I don't really understand why, but that's probably because I'm in food service and they're not. Maybe they think it's grosser or something. Or maybe they don't want to get up and get it. I don't really think that's it, to tell you the truth. I don't know what it is. It's just a thing. Sometimes people have a thing, you know? Uh, you just you don't do that. Uh, I was just checking out some dude who was saying he doesn't wash his hands when he goes into the bathroom because he feels it's dirtier in there when he washes his hands. And he knows what he did, and he knows what he touched, and all this kinds of stuff. But if he starts like touching faucets and soap dispensers and doorknob, all this kinds of stuff, he feels that's when it's more dirty. I don't know. Everybody has a thing, and it's hard to talk people out of that. But maybe I have to go to this Chinese buffet if it's open. But in the beginning, I was saying that not too far from here, but far enough, I heard of this place that had a sandwich made out of beef cheeks. It's kind of like on a Kaiser roll kind of thing. And I was like, I don't know if I ever had beef cheeks. Probably. I just don't remember. And if I did have it, it was probably like a really, really authentic place in Mexico where they just said, "You want some beef?" And then I ate it. Because I was in the middle of nowhere, Mexico, feared for my life. What I always remember about Mexico is policemen on dirt bikes, like driving up and down steps. Kind of just for fun, I think. And them all having like machine guns. And if they weren't on dirt bikes, they were like actually sitting in a tree with a machine gun. And a lot of times it was on shorelines. That's where I would be because I like the beach with this machine gun. I mean, they never bothered me. But sometimes you can see something and it just scares you. Even though people aren't being scary. One of my funniest memories is I was there with family and family's wife. We were walking across this bridge to catch this bus with chickens to go see where they filmed the Titanic. And somebody just walked over like, I don't know, sell chiclets, or maybe they were just saying hi. I don't know. But all I remember is they're actually running across the bridge screaming, "No De Niro! No De Niro! No De Niro!" And that person wasn't chasing her or anything. But I thought, holy, that was kind of weird. There was a couple weird things during that trip, though. Once we were on a beach, and I was sitting there, and she said, "Hey, go find my husband." And I said, how come? You walk down the beach. And then she said, yeah, but I can't see them. I'm like, what? Can't see them. But, yeah, I don't know. But maybe I had some beef cheeks there and I just didn't know it. Write me a comment. That always helps the algorithm, what they say on YouTube. Write me a comment if you had beef cheeks. I'm thinking that's another kind of meat that takes hours and hours to cook. And hopefully it's not like a specialty, because a lot of these things that start out as a meat nobody really wants, and it's cheaper, and that's why different cultures use it. It ends up this specialty meat, and then it costs more. And then the people who have been eating it their whole lives can't even afford it. I don't know. But hey, once again, thanks for hanging out this long and listening to me. I wish there was some way I could talk to you now. We can when I do the live shows. The last live show that I'm doing, foot messed up with that words. The last live show that I did was just yesterday. I was showing the condition of the lake, and there was this part that I thought was filming, and that's where all these cars were going over this bridge. It was kind of next to the lake, and that's like the movement that you see. And then somebody writes to me, hey, why am I watching this still picture of a lake? And I was trying to explain, a lot of people want to see when it freezes, and then they can go ice fishing and stuff. So I show it to the fishermen. We do fishing stuff here all summer, and I've been showing them. Maybe some of my friends will, let me say, Dijon. Anyway, maybe some of my friends, that's me trying to speak another language. Dijon. Maybe some of my friends want to come down and try ice fishing, So I show them this lake. But to keep everybody amused, I thought all these cars and stuff were going over, and buses and farm equipment and all this kinds of stuff, even though it was getting dark. And I didn't know what this comment was really when I wrote back to them. He said it's like a still picture, and I was explaining, it's for the fishermen. But I didn't know that looked really like a still picture because it was just a lake. Like, you might have seen the lake moving, but not much. But what's I think is funny about it, there's like 150 people who were watching it live. Like, nothing. It's not even what I wanted to put up there live. And I didn't speak at all either. Now, I have serious problems with my live broadcasts. I want to say they're better when I'm doing the chicken coop and what's happening there. When they're around the homestead, I use different cameras and stuff like that. This time I used the camera that I rarely use. It's not my most expensive camera, but it's my most expensive camera to use. Anyway, and other people are kind of involved. Not really. I shouldn't even say that, but it's kind of true. I watch it. I watch using this kind of thing, Anyway, I had to use that one because I was at this crazy location. So that didn't really turn out as good as I thought, but it turned out good as far as everybody joining in and checking it out. That part worked. So I'm thinking maybe the next time I'll use the camera that I don't want to because I have no choice. But I'm going to double, triple check and make sure I'm getting what I think I'm getting. The live broadcasts are kind of weird. I only get like this little strip, kind of like the shorts. It doesn't fill the whole TV set. I hear one day it will, and maybe that day has started, but I have not figured out how to do that day. Well, guess what? I am passing another rest area, and I'm not stopping. Is that wild or what? So thanks for hanging in. You're not missing anything if you thought it'd be better to stare at the road, the front. There's other videos we do it that way. There's nothing really much to see. It's the holiday. There is not any farm equipment. Like, that's all parked in the field too. Guys getting last minute stuff done because the ground hasn't frozen too hard, and also, just hasn't snowed or anything that much. Now, Thanksgiving for me is a little bit weird. I do kind of think about the native stuff. When I first moved to North Dakota, I thought it was weird that people would invite me to the casino, which is owned by the tribe on reservation land, and they would invite me there to feed me Thanksgiving food at the buffet. The casino is called Spirit Lake Casino, by the way. They say, I think that's the original name of Devil's Lake, but they, sometimes the name changes on things because white people aren't the smartest in the world. At least not this white person. I always remember that scene in the Godfather movie when he's coming across and he's talking about like the town or something he's from, and then all of a sudden it's his last name. Anyway, I think it was something like that. And our town became Devil's Lake, North Dakota, instead of maybe Spirit Lake, North Dakota. I don't know, but I always found it weird. Everybody who works there is native, members of the tribe usually, and they're feeding me Thanksgiving. And I don't know, what am I supposed to do? Like, not bathe before I go there, get in the true first Thanksgiving. I don't bathe and I spread a whole bunch of disease in the place when I go there. I don't know. But I guess it's not too authentic anyway of the first Thanksgiving. They say there was like lobster and stuff there, and that's what people eat because that's what they had. And we kind of stretched it. Now, back in my day, living on an island, my first island that I lived on, there was always a seafood market, and we would always do a Thanksgiving with friends, single friends. We were married, but the single friends would come and we would make seafood. We'd go to this place and we'd go like, give us the biggest lobster in the world that you have, and give us the biggest shrimp. And I mean, we would try to make it a really big Thanksgiving kind of thing. Like we would super splurge. If not, that we don't splurge enough on food. Yeah, we would super splurge on that kind of food. I haven't done that in a while, but mostly because the seafood market isn't there. It's one of those cool seafood markets, like the fishermen brought it right there, and they sold it. Although nowadays, I might have just assumed that, or that's the way it was back then when I was younger. I don't know. I didn't really question whether the shrimp were local or if they were from Egypt or something. I mean, I see that stuff on the bags now in Walmart. You go, oh, that's a local fish, and it's like from Vietnam, something like that. So I assume at least most of the stuff was caught right there. Maybe it wasn't all. And they had a lobster tank, and maybe that was about it. I don't think they had like a crab. Maybe they had a crab tank. I don't know. But that was about it. It was some good times. I remember one time, and this is weird because we're a married couple. Hey, this sounds really strange now. We're a married couple, and our single friends are all there. We had this thing to make it non-formal more. We sat there in our underwear. That doesn't sound right now. Maybe back then there was a little bit of smoke involved. A little bit of the old marijuana. I can't really remember that part. But if it was back then, it would have been some really cheap dark weed kind of thing. Not like people tell me marijuana is today, like super strong. It would have been the weakest marijuana. That would be probably my favorite, even if I smoked it today. Give me the weakest shit that you have. Thank you. In today's world, when the kids are always, let's make it stronger. I go, what are you making it stronger for? Don't you jump out the window already? I have the heat on, but it is getting a little bit hot. So, a couple days ago, I got some seafood mailed to me again. I did not shoot a video again on this one. I shot a video, it's up there from one maybe last month. Anyway, they sent me this thing, it was like free shipping, and I didn't want to use it because I bought a whole bunch of fish for a lot of money, and I didn't want to spend a whole lot of money. They kept on sending me a thing, use it, it's expiring soon, the free shipping. So I just grabbed a real little order. I grabbed hey, since it was free shipping, send me a dozen cherry stone clams, a pound of fresh flounder fillets, some of your brand name smoked Alaskan sockeye salmon, a pound of it, and a pound of crab cakes. It actually said 2 crab cakes. I don't know if it was a pound. And a pound of, no, not a pound, a quart of some fish stock. Now, I open up the box. That came to like, I don't know, $85 or something. Anyway, no shipping. Anyway, and I felt bad because I know shipping's expensive in North Dakota. This is coming from New York. I wanted to get more, but they kept on pressuring me. Hurry up, it's expiring. So I wanted to use it quick. When I got the box, the fish stock wasn't there, or the crab cakes. Only the 3 other little things. Now, I'm not saying they charged me for it, but I'm also not saying I looked so far. Maybe they did, but I doubt it. It's a really fair, smart place, and I know they can keep up on switching the payments on my credit card, because once the fish was giant, as you see in that video on my channel, the blue fish was giant. They thought it would be smaller, so they kind of upped the price. That was fair. So I know they can change it, so they probably made it cheaper. But it only means like, hey, these guys lost money for sure. But thank you. I'm not going to tell you the name of the company because YouTube thinks, they pay me or something. And they flag my video. And they don't pay me. I just love them. But you can see the name on the box. Look up the other video. Be shipped to your door overnight. They got wild stuff, man. Like whole fresh fish. You want real fish? They got it. They'll give you a bunch of different ways. You want it chopped up? They'll chop it up. You want it whole? You want to cut it? You want it filleted? A million other ways. They'll do it. They don't care. I mean, I even had a client. I had a choice with a live dozen clams. They're like, you want it chopped? You want it open in a piece of plastic? You want them on the half shell? You want all this kinds of stuff. And yeah, maybe they charge you a couple of bucks more, but it's kind of worth it. But these clams, I made clam. Oh, also last night. Now it's going to seem like I ate a lot. I made clam linguine. I boiled the pasta first, and it was half done, and then I threw the clam. I washed the clams real good, and then I threw them all in the same pot as the spaghetti cooking. Threw some wine in there, some garlic, some basil, some salt, and some olive oil, and just closed the lid. And they all opened up, and I grabbed a piece of bread, and I ate it right out of the pot. That's what you call a one-pot meal, huh? I did not do a video of that. Hey, wait, I was just thinking, I might have decided I shot like a 10-second kind of thing of what I was doing. Because I was watching TV, and I don't have like a tray table, but I grabbed the cut board, and I put the pot on there, and I put a glass of wine on the cutting board, and the pot, like I said earlier, on the cutting board, and a bowl to put the clamshells, and then I used that kind of like a table as I sat and watched TV. But that was the deal there. So the big question is, why did I get the fish stock? Seems to be a strange one again, huh? A pint of fish stock, or a pound, could have been a quart, I forget. Well, I was so proud of myself making some, I think they call it dashi. It's a fish broth with seaweed. Anyway, I was so proud of myself making it. And I did it maybe 3 weeks ago when I bought a uh, red snapper from the local food mobile truck seafood delivery guy. Comes every 2 weeks, parks at the gas station. Hey, where I got that sandwich, that same gas station, the Cenex, where I got that sandwich this morning. Anyway, I bought some clam chowder from him, and he was telling me the story how his wife makes it and stuff like that. And I tried it, and I really liked it. And I found out that it was like fish stock when they made the clam chowder. And I thought, that's weird. Now, I'm the kind of chef who has won second place in a New England clam competition. Yip-de-doo for me. But anyway, I was still like, usually use like clam broth. What's this fish broth? So I decided to make this fish broth myself because I wanted to make dashi and I had all the ingredients. And it turned out great. Then I started thinking about this clam chowder. One of my colleagues was telling me about this guy who's allergic to shellfish, and he just keeps on eating. Clam chowder. And I started thinking, wow, that's weird because he gets sick all the time. And they're like, yeah, they take him to the hospital. He swells all up and all. And I go, oh, okay. And I go, hey, why don't we put no clams in it? We'll just use this broth I made, put some potatoes, do the whole milk base, some onions, maybe a little bacon if we want, all the other ingredients besides clam. First, I'm going to test it out in the kitchen. And I tried some, and it was like, man, this is really good. It's like clam chowder without clams. That's weird. And then, yeah, for people who are allergic to shellfish, that's, what are you going to call it? And then I'm trying to think now the clever name we came up with. Oh, I remember now. We called it scam chowder. That's right. Chef Bill Z's scam chowder. It tastes just like chowder. And we just didn't say anything. We were like, don't eat this, it's clam chowder. And he's like, give me a bowl, give me a bowl. And no. Of course, he gets a bowl. He's like, that was really good. So we can give that to him all the time. Anyway, when I was so proud of all that and making this stuff, my wife was like, why does this pot just constantly smell like fish? Everything smells like fish. I tried everything. I'm soaking it in bleach. I'm scrubbing it. It was making her crazy. And it was such like a big deal. I mean, I was like, in fact, I had to make the lamb curry in the same pot just so it smelled like curry. Anyway, I thought, she might kill me. she could. So maybe I should just buy this clam stock this time. Not for the guy, but for myself. And I look forward to try it because I figure it has to be the world's best because, they got 1,000,000 pounds of fish coming in every day from the docks. So their fish broth must be really, really good. Did not come in the box. So I tried a little bit of the smoked salmon, a little bit regular. I tried the live clams, like I said, with the linguine. They were great. They're bigger ones, cherry stones, that I get shipped. Otherwise, off the hook, the mobile delivery. Oh, by the way, they do shipping, but just in North Dakota. They got like smaller clams, and a lot of people prefer them, just not me. I'm an experienced clam eater. I used to eat these honkers at this raw bar that was on this dock. They would have like half price sunset beers and appetizers, and these clams would be on the half price, but they are always these honker ones. Well, everybody, I think that's our time together. If you made it to the end, I really appreciate it. That's something else that helps the algorithms. Yep. I'm trying to think. I think that's everything I thought I wanted to say. Besides, once again, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Thanksgiving should be, I think, every other day. That's what I say. Maybe not exactly Thanksgiving, but I think it should be every day. So, yeah. What more do I have to say? Have a good one, everybody.